fight. And if he treats you bad, he's gonna see my fighting side. I don't know what to think of this conundrum we created. Hell, but if he's back before I'm gone, I'll hurt more than his pride. Now that ain't good. Hell, but it ain't.
There's the man doing his work.
It ain't the best.
Always at it.
What we got here, Jim?
It's a left-handed triple carbon. It's a little heavier. It's about 56 at 26. It's a 58-inch bow. It's got the charcoal Dymalux riser, emerald green accents, carbon fiber fingerboard.
Oh, I like that green. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it really pops when the finish hits. Thumb rest. It's going to have small stipple pattern. And then this gentleman wanted prairie rattler snakeskins, which they look a little bland right now, but when the finish hits them,
They really pop.
yeah, it'll really bring that color out. So what I'm doing now is I'm just doing the final sanding on the tips and the handle, and then I'll be roughing up the carbon so the finish will stick. And then the next process, once that's all ready, and then I'm going to stipple the grip. And then I'm going to finish over the snakeskins and let it sit overnight. And then I will level the finish so it fills in all of the little dimples from the scaling. And then tomorrow I'll get the final coats.
Awesome.
Ready to go. As long as the finish fills in. I want it to where you look down the snakeskins and you really don't see any texture. And I also like to build up over the sides really well because you don't want any moisture. Or when people walk through like wet grass and weeds and stuff, you don't want any moisture getting underneath that snakeskin where it can start to curl. It's very important to get a really good finish and seal over the edge of everything. The edge is basically kind of your weak link. So I'm going to build up really good over that. And then, yeah, man, I think he'll be stoked.
Right on. I'm sure he's going to be super happy. Do a little tour here, right? Like you can't trust a shop that's impeccably clean, right? That means no work is getting done.
I gave up years ago on trying to keep it squeaky clean.
Here we are. World headquarters of Centaur Archery. All right. I'm out here in the Centaur Archery Global Headquarters in Hamilton, Montana. Bowyer Jim is behind the camera, but I've been waiting for this bow for quite a few months, and I've been really excited about it. And I mean, just look at it. It's really beautiful, guys. It's a super special bow. I think I told Jim, I said I want it to look like something that the Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, would be proud to shoot, and I think he killed it. So see if we can put a couple arrows and make sure I don't put a hole in Jim's wall, but no promises.
A lot of equipment between you and there, but you got her.
Laser beams.
Those are the right spine, aren't they? Yeah.
Shooting a 570 grain arrow right now.
And with those trad vanes, they're flying beautifully.
Yeah. So this is 58 inches, tip to tip, 50 pounds at a 30-inch draw. Man, you did awesome. You did so good. I'm so excited.
Glad you like it, brother.
And so this is takedown, right? So we take it down through this. I'm sure we'll get a video later, but
Yep.
It's so clean.
Yeah, and then it's got the 3 pins, the 2 bolts.
Man, that's nice.
Dual stippling.
Sure. Maker's mark there. Yeah, get the stippling because it looks amazing.
Dual pattern. That'll lock your hand in place.
Dude. I mean, it just fits the palm. Like my palm is so solid against that handle. And then, you know, the fingers on the overlay, like everything Jim does is custom. And it fits so nicely on the hand.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And you shoot it well.
Laser beams. Man. Awesome. All right, guys. So We're sitting here in the global headquarters of Centaur Archery. This is a new thing, right? So, got Jim Neaves here, owner and bowyer of Centaur. He's been building bows for 30 years, which is really amazing considering Jim's only a couple years older than me. He started building bows when he was like 19, and then 25 years of Centaur Archery, right?
Yeah.
So you've been on the podcast a couple times now. This is going to be a video form. I kind of show people your shop and what I came out here for. So we're out here in Hamilton, Montana, and it's nostalgic because I think in 2020 and 2021 I came out here for elk hunts and this whole kind of like range of the Bitterroot. So these roads are familiar and everything else. I went to my little favorite bakery this morning. I was out here and had to bring some sweets to Jim and got out here. Basically, I've got a work trip that's here in Montana that's on the other side of the state, but I said, hey, how about I do a pit stop out here, Jim? Are you ready? I knew he was working on a bow for me anyways, so it was really great timing to come out and I could actually pick up a bow in person. One, I've never had a custom bow built before, and two, I've definitely never had the opportunity to come to the Bowyer's workshop.
It was perfect timing, man. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, so I'm stoked. So I got in here yesterday afternoon, and you're able to show me the bow and all that stuff. But what I did want to show folks is like some of you, like there's some very large manufacturers, archery manufacturers out there, big assembly line, but this is you, man. This is a one-man shop, and you've been doing this for a long time. And everything is art. Like everything that you're doing is so fine detailed and artistic, and it's beautiful. And I'm just glad that you had me out here to share some of that. But I'm not going to go into the Gym 101 and the history because that's all in the podcast. I'll put it in the show notes for this. Not only have you mastered carbon fiber, like with your bows, between the long bows and the super curves, but man, like people don't know this. Maybe people don't know this about you, but like I was drooling over some of Jim's self bows. So like Jim he's got 6 or 8 self bows just collecting dust in the corner here. So shame on him for not getting out and shooting them. But look at just how beautiful this Osage self bow is. And you made this when you were like a teenager or something.
This one, I think I was probably in my late 20s.
Okay. And so this is Osage, right? So you've got naughty Osage in here. It's got a beautiful color. But tell us about like the handle and everything you got for up.
Yeah, this was a birch bark. I was at a bow shoot somewhere. I think it was in Brownsville. No, not Brownsville. It was here in Montana. It was a nearby bow shoot. Anyways, there were some birch trees that had tipped over near a creek or whatever. So I cut the bark, like big section like that, peeled it. It's pretty flexible. I'm like, oh, I can do this. I did like light switch covers and stuff with it. But what I did with this is it's almost like a shingle. So I started down here, and in each layer I just over the top of it kind of thing. And then I just literally saturated the whole thing in super glue. And it's just never changed.
And it's this rabbit fur, or was this rabbit fur accents?
I think it was like mink, those little mink puffs
soft,
or something, yeah. And this one's, over the years, it's gotten a little messed up. But yeah, this was my roots in bow making, and this is what I did. I always enjoyed it before I got into laminated bows, and I actually would like to do more of this if I had more time, because it's just fun.
Sometimes you gotta do the thing for you and not just what's for the consumers or whatever.
Right.
So if there's down periods, you can hack away at some Osage or oak or something like that and get you.
People are like, what would you do if you're not building bows? I'm like, I'd probably go build a bow.
Yeah, I'd probably go build a bow.
So it's just in my. I enjoyed it. And I think that's one of the reasons I've been doing this for so long, because I can't not do it.
Yeah,
it's a hobby.
It's at this point. It's your calling. There's no doubt. I mean, here I am. I'm almost 41. I'm still wondering what my calling is, other than being a husband and father. And you found it in your art and your craft and your occupation. I think it's awesome, dude.
And I was lucky, man, to be able to start at 19 and then just roll with it. I didn't start going full time until a little later on. But for the first 5 years, it was just this kind of stuff, and then learning the laminated process. Yeah. And it's just all been a blast, honestly.
And we talked about this on the last episode of the podcast too, right? Where this area of Montana also has a lot of guys that are now graybeards that were bowyers as well too. So you've had a lot of exposure and sometimes immersion with some of these guys.
Yeah, a lot of them were friends of mine just because all the commonalities and stuff. If you have questions and you can call somebody that's older than they were pretty much all older than me. And I would just go pick brains and chit chat, and sometimes some of them had materials that I'd buy and whatnot. But yeah, it was nice because I could always get questions answered, ideas and stuff, or I'd look at what they were doing and be like, that's interesting. I wonder if I did something like that but did this. And Just kind of get the creative juices going, and it's been awesome. This is like the Bowyer Mecca, like
I had
the
no
Bitter
idea
Valley.
what we've been talking about. Like, I had no clue that there was so much heritage that came out of this part of the world, which now I'm like, man, I just want to find out how I can come out here more often.
Yeah, you should.
I know, right? You got good excuses. It's beautiful. Again, I had been out here for a few years, and I'm excited to come out here. So before we get to mine, so we just published your video from your elk hunt this last, was it in October or November?
The hunt happened in September.
Okay, hunt was in
about
September.
the 14th.
Okay, and then so the video for that just came out in the last couple of weeks. But this is the bow you got that bull with, right?
Yeah, that's a super curve.
So I'm just reading it to you because I'm closer. But tell us about like your bow and your arrow, your broadhead.
So I don't, with the super curve, obviously I don't shoot a lot of weight. 49 pounds, I have a 25-inch drum. I'm 5'4", that's as good as I'm going to get with my, but it's, the super curve, performance-wise, it just works so well. And they like a heavy arrow. I tell people, with my longbow, shoot about 10 grains of arrow weight per pound of bow weight. With the super curve, 12 pounds of arrow weight per pound of bow weight. And obviously just with these big hooks, you've just got so much more stored energy. You've got mechanical advantage and everything. But because of that, they do heavy arrow. It's a more radical design. It's more efficient. But this little bow has been through a lot. Like it's been dry fired numerous times by me and other people. I had some knocks break. I've slammed it into the rail of Justin Diamond's bow fishing rig out there in Florida when I was shooting sheep's head and everything else. You get all caught up in the moment and you're shooting, you're going back, and wham, and I'm looking, I'm like, just keep shooting, man. This is fun. I fell off of a big, I don't know, it was a deal out in Florida where the barge canal, and I was coming down off of that, and there was a chain link fence. I lost my grip where I had my shooting glove, and it slipped off, and I went down about 8 feet, landed on big boulders. Totally marred this thing up right here. This is all marred up where I landed on the rocks. And anyways, and I bloodied my leg all up. But this thing, I killed 2 alligators with this thing. It's just been, it's one of those things. I built the super curve for myself to just abuse it. Like I say, abuse it. I don't baby it. Work, right? I just I'm out there and all these things are happening. And I'm like, okay, cool. This thing's still ticking. And it's an earlier model. It came in a little heavy. I wanted right around 50 pounds, and I really narrowed it up. I don't know if the viewers can see, but it's super narrow compared to your bow and how I do it now. And it's been great. It stayed perfectly aligned. It's super high torsional stability on that carbon, so that it just does not want to get wonky, even after everything I put it through.
Is that timber rattler? What do you have on there?
Yeah, this is a cotton mount, actually.
Oh, it's cotton. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I might just bring that closer, but
it's actually got a lot of color in it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of color.
That was a really pretty one.
Yeah, and the green goes well with it. Man, it looks nice.
But yeah, this bow, it's been through a lot, and it just keeps, and it's the takedown and everything, and I've taken it apart a few times going to Florida and whatnot, but I've had it long enough now, and even though I'm the bow maker, like, this is like my bow. You know what I mean? If you have something long enough, and then you make it, there's sentimental value, because I've killed a lot of different critters and a lot of experience with it and stuff now, and so it's really, yeah. This is like my bow. I think about it and I'm like, oh man, I do have a long bow and stuff, but ever since I started building the super curves, like that's all I shoot. I can't help myself. It's just
I can believe it. I just getting the handful of arrows for this one so far. Again, I've had a smile on my face for the last 20 hours. It's been awesome. When 6 months ago, I said, hey, I'd love to get a bow from you, and we talked about it then. And generally, your queue is about 6 months out, and since then, we've talked about, and we're actually partnering, right? Like, you're partnered now with the Bowyer Collective, the Bowyer Podcast, which I really appreciate, and just more reason to come out here and collaborate. And part of the reason why I want to do that is because with some larger archery manufacturers, even if they have a lot of heritage and they're awesome, what I really want you to do is still continue to tell stories of the artisans and the makers and the crafts people, and it's hard to do that with a very large, several hundred people operation. And this is like, one, we had already become friends, and two, now we have excuses to like help build each other up. Yeah. It's like a just cool gentleman's agreement. And already, like I'd already put down a deposit on the boat. It made this so much easier and seamless. A lot of things that I had, like the earth tone and dark colors, and we think about camo and blending in, but I actually was like, I want something that like the Ultimate Warrior or Randy Savage would be proud to shoot. Like being a 90s kid, I was thinking about that, and then I think I had done like a logo, the Bowyer Collective logo with some of the blue, like the electric blue and pink, and my arrows are set up that way from Safari Tough. I was like, this color's going to be pulled off. And I'm like, oh, I'll see what I can do. I can tell you, I didn't have any idea what to expect. Is how you're going to integrate splashes of color into this bow.
Yeah.
I don't have a gift with fine arts like my wife does. I think my kids are pretty well gifted, but I'm just like I don't have it in me. But I like to admire it in other people. And when I walked in yesterday and you were able to pull this off the press and everything, we'll have more video of close-ups and everything. But dude, like you just crushed it here. Like the blue and the pink and the handle and the fades, everything down the side. Again, we've got some more close-ups here. But man, I couldn't have even pictured this in my mind. I certainly couldn't be more impressed. And I know I'm hyping up on how aesthetically pleasing this bow is. And it just fits me so well. And it's got not many people can pull off a 58-inch, relatively short recurve with a long draw, like a 30-inch draw. And there's no hand shock, there's no pinch in the finger. It's just so smooth. And we were talking about this yesterday, I think, where with a longbow, you've got more solid back. But with this, with the super curve, I feel like there's almost let off.
Yeah, they really load up in the front.
Really
and you're thinking it's going to be heavy, but as soon as those big hooks kick in, it
so
stays
efficient.
the same poundage all the way through.
It is, man. But I love it. But walk me through this process, right? So you're working with carbon fiber and everything else. It's a takedown design.
Right.
And when you come up with a design, you've got your form and everything here. But there's several layers to this. It's between the riser and everything that we've got in front of the bow as far as the design, the finger holds, the rest, and to include the limb tips. Like, how do you come up with this style? You've got the shape, right? You've mastered the shape of the super curve for a long time now. But when somebody comes up, because you're a custom bowyer, right? Most of the things that you're doing are all bespoke. How are you? Do most people make an order and say, hey, I want to look exactly like this? Or is there a lot more, hey man, I want to look like this, but I want...
It depends on the customer. Like some customers are real specific. There's only so many things you can get specific about because the limbs are engineered from the back of the bow to the belly. So the limbs are what they are. Like every super curve I make is identical in the limb department, unless they want something like this, or hey, let's cover the card on the snake. But then outside of that, there's a lot of options. They can do scales over the dark matter, like wood grain, a little quarter-inch scale to give it that look. In this case, you went with more of that ultimate heavyweight with the solid dark matter all the way through. And then there's the question, hey, let's do accents. Do you want accents? Do you want natural? Do you want colors? I've got all that kind of stuff. So what's neat about these bows, even though they're all glued up off the same press, they can look radically different.
Yeah, none of them are the same.
From one to another, it's just with the different colors and everything that you got there. So that makes it fun. Some customers are very specific, I want horn here, I want elk antler or carbon fiber, whatever. So there's a lot of different things. And I actually enjoy that because there's some things that people have said, hey, build it like this. And I'm like, I probably wouldn't do that, but it's your bow, it's cool. And then I put it together, I'm like, that's a pretty neat idea. It actually looks good. Yeah. So that being said, there's a lot of things you can do, even though, again, it's glued up off the same form. And then you get into the most important part is that grip. I always tell my customers, it's the only place
that's the custom part, that's really the custom part, right? And with this, you have a way to do this, right? When I called you up 6 months ago to build a bow, we had a one-on-one conversation. It was way less focused on the aesthetics, but what I wanted in my grip. And you talk about this, right? There's a measurement and everything. You have people measure their hands and send all that into you, right?
Yeah, that's super important. And what I prefer is an actual hard copy of the hand tracing because now sometimes people will email them to me, but documents get resized when they do that. Excuse me. So what I like is a hard copy of that and then notes next to the hand tracing. Hey, I like the size of a larger handle or an average size or maybe a smaller grip, smaller in the throat, whatever. So between having those measurements or having that hard copy hand tracing and the notes, usually I can get it pretty close. Like on this particular one, you said, hey, I like something that fills the hand. Okay, so I look at the size of your hand, relevant, because basically, like stock bows, I could build stock bows small, medium, large, but medium to somebody might be large to somebody else. So it really is particularly relevant to each customer. So if a guy's got a giant hand and he says, I want a small grip, that might still be a pretty good sized grip still. Like you or I might grab it and be like, oh, that's So anyway, so that's super important. It's the only place you touch the bow, and if you're fighting that, it's no good. Like that's why, and I don't know why other people don't get like hand tracings and talk about that. Maybe they just get lucky real often or whatever, but I think it's super important because you're connected here. Everything else is identical. Everyone's going to pull a string. Everybody's going to have an arrow knock. But this part here, you don't want to be fighting your bow. If that's consistent and it's solid, you grab it the same way every time, like you're golden. And what it does, it takes your focus off of the bow and the equipment, and now it's picking a spot in your form or being real consistent in other areas. So that's the deal, man. Super important. It's probably the most important part of every bow, in my opinion. So
I dig it.
And you got to nail that.
And I was looking at your bow, and like my bow, like the stippling is unique. The patterns are different. You had the dragon. The gentleman that came in here that had recently purchased bow from me had like dragon scales. So your physics, when it comes to physics, the bows are the same relative to weight and draw length because you've mastered that repeatable design.
Yeah.
But aesthetically, and the way you want to make each person's custom bow intimate with their body and their hand is really unique. And man, like I couldn't be happier. I'm so excited.
Awesome, man.
I've got some more work travel tacked up onto this, but turkey season's right around the corner. I was talking to some company guys. I was like, hey, let's get some bow fishing or something in too,
there you
right?
go.
In May, I'm going up to Alaska with my buddy Sam Curtis, who makes my knives and stuff. And so we're gonna chase bears. And man, I can't wait to fling an arrow out of this thing at a chunky Alaskan black bear. It's just
On this little 58-inch super curve, when you put it on the ground, should I grab that 56-inch longbow just to show the viewers like the length difference? It's really a cool thing. I'll be right back. Let me grab this.
yeah, we just edit out the gaps, so it's fine.
Okay, so with that length bow, it's a 58. This is a 56-inch longbow. And you can see it's a good 2 inches taller.
Yeah, wind strong.
Yeah, so you have less working limb in a larger package of the longbow. Now these longbows are still great, and I build them anywhere from 54 to 64. But for tight situations, and because the 58-inch super curve will accommodate 31-inch draw. The 58-inch longbow will accommodate a 29-inch draw, and it's in a larger package. So the super curve is one of the things I like about it too. It's just so maneuverable, and it just draw forever.
Yeah, it really does. It's awesome, man. Let's get a few arrows through this gal and probably drink a cup of coffee, and I'll have to get on the road. But man, we'll have to get some video of just the take, how it takes down.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we can do that at home too. But man, I'm so excited. I appreciate you so much.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, for sure.
It ain't right. Call me your home wrecking man. But let's wreck it one more time. Remember when I said to you, honey, I'm never leaving. Hell, when I left, you got yourself some home-loving man. Oh, now I'm back in town and I can see that you're unhappy. Hell, and if you still got love for me, I'll take it when I can. Now that ain't good. Hell, that ain't bad. Well, it ain't the best thing we ever had. It ain't less than love, but it ain't right. Call me your home wrecking man. Let me wreck it one more time.